Good afternoon, everyone. We are Simplearn. We invented the name at about 4 a.m. There's two different kinds of learning. There's the left brain kind of learning, which is what is done in the educational system. It's a logical kind of learning. There's the right brain kind of learning, which is more creative, visual, intuitive. A lot of you guys are right brainers. Now, everybody wants their kid to be happy and to have a very successful learning experience where everything goes well with no problems. Sometimes it's like this, and sometimes kids encounter problems. Now, they encounter the same problems again and again. But if you have now encountering problems, it's not something rare. Can we have the next slide, please? You can think that it's rare, but in Israel, for example, 23% of the kids suffer this or that kind of learning disorder. Now, this creates two things. It creates a learning problem, and secondly, it creates a very strong emotional problem that can affect a kid for the rest of his life. If you have the right platform and you assist the kid of overcoming the obstacle, then you can achieve something which can affect him and to have a very successful experience and know how to overcome these problems. Now, can we have the next slide? Sorry. All right. Different kind of learning disorders. Some kids find it very difficult to remember the words. You might remember the letters. You may take it for granted. But some kids try to memorize again and again the same words, the same letters, but they can't. But if you have a visual supporter, for example, you take a very simple letter, if you have the right visual supporter, then you will always remember it. And it goes for every language, not just for Hebrew, also for Arabic. Okay? Ha, haye, and ba, batih. I'm sure you guys will remember it even after today. Now we have a highly developed, we already developed this language. It's been used and tested for years. Some kids find it difficult to hear vowels or remember them. But if you take it to a game-based experience, then without even knowing that they're learning, they're playing a game. And while they're playing a game, they're learning the language and the vowels. And that's not something, it's not just a theory. It's something that's been done and tested for the last 10 years. It's been implemented in more than 40 schools in Israel with thousands of kids. And it's not just successful with kids with learning disorders. Usually it takes about 4 months to learn to read, the very basic learning skills. In this method, we can do it with a kid with no special problems in 1 hour. Okay, I'm not exaggerating. You can bring a kid and we'll be welcome to show you how it works. The tests we've done and that other show a great, in a very short time, we see a very big difference in the way kids learn and what they achieve. Now, game, I mean, the ideal platform for a game is naturally digital platforms like, it doesn't matter if it's a PC, it's an iPad, it's a mobile device, and we want to take this game and bring it online. Our market is, there's two different kind of markets. There's the parents that are today, a parent to a kid with a learning disorder spends about 1,500 shekels a month on an average in assisting him with these kind of problems. And on a B2B base, you can sell the product on a subscription base to schools. It's a very similar business model to, if any one of you guys know BrainPop. So they sell both to, it's an educational system that sells both to parents and to kids all around the world. Now, the great thing about this platform from a business point of view is that you can develop it once, and then you can, with very simple modifications, have it adapted to any kind of language. Just for example, there's in the world there are about 300 million Arabic speakers, and 1 out of 3 Arabic speakers is illiterate. And you can modify it to any kind of language. What we actually want to do is take this game online. Take it, thank you. And stop labeling kids and give them the right platform to be what they are and find their great potential. That's it. Thank you very much. I got the mic. Is there another mic?
Here it is. Very interesting concept. If it truly works, and I'm sure that it does, otherwise you wouldn't be telling us over and over that it does. That's absolutely amazing that it can teach someone to learn in an hour. I am sort of wondering, you said we're going to bring it online. That's nice, but I mean, I see no evidence of that. I see a demo of a concept, and not even a demo of a concept. I see a presentation about a concept. I don't really know what your team and I don't mean offense when I say this. I don't know what your team has built over the course of the past 2 days, other than a nice video of some, a car trying to go over a track and falling on its back, which was awesome. I'll download that later. So I'd want to know a little bit about what your steps are going to be, how you're going to actually take this online.
Okay, we wanted to do to show a mock-up or a presentation, but since it's based on animation, then we can spend the whole day just to show one frame. And we wanted to see if it's a game, and the game has very simple rules, especially in an audio-visual medium like a PC. Doesn't matter if it's a console. You can take the game, just translate it, and a lot of research has showed that there's an advantage for certain kind of learning skills using these kind of mediums.
So I'll echo what Josh said. I feel like it would have been great. I know it might have taken all day to put together a demo of just one slice of the functionality of the game. Mm-hmm. I'd still love to see one slice of functionality of the game, because I heard a lot about a concept. It sounds like a really interesting idea. The other thing that you might be concerned about is, if this method works as well as it does, and if it's sort of a general purpose method that people are using already, there's no real stickiness to keep a competitor from just popping in if you become successful, right? Mm-hmm. Like, unless you have to invest a significant amount of time in working with a particular language or making this particular method work for a particular thing, unless there's a complexity hook there, or the market is just so small as to be uninteresting to a lot of other folks, you run the risk of somebody else coming in and just stomping on what you're doing. So
what we thought about this aspect is that to develop the game and bring it online, something that will take a few months, but the great thing is once you developed it, adapting it, since it's based on animation, adapting it to each and every language, that's something that's quite easy, so you have a competitive advantage. But if someone can try, this method also works not just for reading, but for other things as well, like memory, understanding what you read, mathematics, so we had a lot of other things in hand. And yes.
I want to just add, in answer to your question, that the person that invented that system or that idea is here. The concept is here, so they can try and copy it, but they have the idea. Yeah.
Yes, we have the IP, and not the IP, but the person who invented it.
Well, leave the IP aside. I like it, but I need to see a viable demo and not a concept.
I'm getting into my natural beach position. It's late in the day for me.
That's my favorite type.
At last I'm getting there. I agree. I don't see. I think you have something. I have some background in that. I think there is a method. You want to computerize it, digitize it, but I don't see what you did. What's different between this presentation and the first day, in a way. So you have an idea, go ahead and do it. It's probably great, but what's the difference?
That's the next step. But think about something like Monopoly. Monopoly is a game with very basic steps and what you need to do. If you want to take Monopoly and turn it into a web game, it's pretty simple. Especially if this is the same. It's a game, all you have to do is transform it. We didn't do it, I agree, we didn't have enough time. But
it's not simple, you have to test it, you have to do it's a research you're trying to teach. There is a lot into it, into education, but the whole work is in front of you, and it's not so simple.
Just to say a few words about the team. The team is based on both people with a lot of experience in educational technology, and both people with multimedia experience. One of the projects that some of the team members, if you know Melody Street, it's a big project, but something similar.
We encourage you to go and implement it.
Okay, we will. We just need the funds.
Ideas are trivial. Execution makes the difference. So
Yeah.
we just like to see the product.
Okay. Thank you very
All right,
much.
Simplearn, thank you very much.